Okay, Jeff, so let's look on the other side of the coin here. So what would your recommendation be if you were helping a seller in today's market?
Oh, fabulous. I love it, Trev. So from the seller's point of view, you've got to be, again, educating yourself. I would be looking at what, any neighboring properties in your particular neighborhood that are for sale, even if they're a slightly different type of home, whatever it might be, go out and see it. You've got to educate yourself, leverage your great agent to take you out to see those properties, understanding what is available out there. And then, dive in. You'll do a fabulous job giving, them a thorough comparative market analysis on what their property's worth, giving a certain range and what's going on in the marketplace. But it's so important, like, especially going to open houses, you can get to see the traffic
Yes.
coming through. How many buyers are out there looking, right? And leverage yourself. We're going to call your competitors, say in the area, like, hey, how much traffic are you getting? How much interest there are, to really understand the market. And then you can gauge your price based on what you're seeing in today's marketplace. And understanding that, yes, there is competition out there. It's not just your home like it was, like we were speaking about before, where it's, you had this tight supply of property, and then you put your home on the market and it's going to sell a few days later. That's not the case.
Okay.
Pricing is so important these days, and the way you stage the property, the way you make it look and feel, and all those great, you've got to make it look like it is the best house on the street for the best possible value. And that's when you're going to gain the most interest, and that's where you're really going to discover the greatest amount of, say, value you're going to generate out of that property for yourself.
Okay, so your suggestion, as you've just mentioned, is perhaps to have a seller consultation to get an opinion of value on the home. And then you have to hire the right team who's going to provide state-of-the-art marketing, state-of-the-art videography, state-of-the-art photography, top of the line, every social media component that's available to market that property to get as much as humanly possible. Because if I'm working with a seller and they say, I want what my neighbor got back in 2022, and I look across the table from them, I said, well, that's not possible. And they said, well, unfortunately, we can't sell our house unless we get that number. Then I said, well, maybe call me in about 4 years. And I'll be here when you're ready.
Exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, it is the case in some occasions where, like, we need to sell for X in order to encourage us to make that next change or whatever it might be. And that's great. But there are people, of course, that have to sell. And I think that's important, that even though everyone has the highest and best price in mind, and so do we, right? As realtors, it's not like, it's not like, oh, we want to sell quick and just make a quick buck. That's not the case, right? At the end of the day, we're only as good as our last bit of business, right? And if we flopped on that last bit of business, business can drive very quickly.
That's right.
And so we want someone like yourself who has a very proven track record, and any seller will be lucky to work with you based on what you've said. It's so important to do all those. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's all important. Execution on those little things will produce one big result.
Okay.
And nobody executes like you do, Trev. So,
well, thank you. I mean, you've heard it here with Jeff Slightham. Again, we are, as your brother would say, and your father would say, we're in the helping people business.
That's right.
And that's what we do for a living.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate you taking the time to meet with us today.
Thanks, Trev. It's an honor being here, and your clients should be very honored to work with you, buddy. You've got you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Bob.
All right.
That's great.